Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back through daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. So let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So right now, the market is having a nice little field day. At the current moment in time, it is about almost 1 a.m. So this is going up in about roughly an hour. Not much has changed today. We have been basically sitting around the 24K region on Bitcoin, which we actually like to see this as we do kind of build out a little bit of a floor above some major support, which is like around 23.5K. It's kind of building for the next major move upward. Now, I know a lot of people are kind of worried about the CPI report this week, but I honestly don't think that's going to have much noise behind it. If anything, I think that the one around like September into the fall time frame, that's where we do really kind of look at a lot more bigger factors around this market. So I think that this month is going to most likely have a little bit of a field day for crypto, but we definitely have to pay attention to price action and really kind of see where we do see like a major rejection on Bitcoin, as we have been seeing a triple top on Bitcoin forming on the chart, which could allow it to have a retest of the lows. So just be aware of that. Now, today I actually want to talk to you guys about something around Bitcoin. Funny enough, when we look at Bitcoin, this would be about a $500,000 Bitcoin, a $9.6 trillion market cap, an upside of 20x. Now, we do not get to a $500,000 Bitcoin overnight. It's going to take time, but what could streamline this process? Well, it's of course institutional demand. We actually do see over here from Crypto Airy, shout out to Crypto Airy, but BlackRock Coinbase is a strong signal that institutions consider starting with Bitcoin. ARK Invest hypothetical impact of institutional investment. Bitcoin price allocations 1%, 2.55%, and 6.55%. Latter two priced to $200,000 and $500,000 respectfully, based on PwC data. We do see down here hypothetical impact of institutional investment on the price of Bitcoin. And we do see a few things, like for example, HNWI. We also do see mass affluent, pension funds, insurance companies, sovereign wealth funds as well. And you do see the allocation down there of 1%, 2.55%, and of course 6.55%. That is, of course, the allocation maximum Sharpe ratio. And then you do see like the minimum volatility, and then just like the 1%. 1% would put it at around roughly the $100,000 range or near it. The 2.55% would put it at about $200,000. And of course, the 6.55% would put it around $500,000. Now, you might be thinking like 6.55% in terms of an allocation is really not that crazy to think about. But when we really look at this, that is a large allocation from an institutional investment, hedge fund or company. And the funny thing is that, when we really kind of look at Bitcoin and we look at the price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin's price does matter to an extent. For an example, we go back to when this entire market was at a $3 trillion market cap. Bitcoin at $70,000, right, held nearly about 50% of the market capitalization of the entire crypto market cap. So when we look at this at $500,000, you're looking at roughly a $9.6 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. I would argue that at that time, we could very well see crypto at over a $20 trillion market cap. Now, again, like I said, this is not going to happen overnight. Don't expect this next cycle or anything like that. I'm just saying, at the time that this does happen, the adoption cycle of Bitcoin is also key for this entire market. And you might be wondering, well, why do you say that? Well, it's the idea that if we have a higher market cap potential for crypto, most of the altcoins that are here to stay, tried and tested, like XRP, for example, because XRP has been around for over a decade, is going to have, a similar, bull run fashion in it. Obviously, there's a few things that still need to be taken into accountability, like, of course, the SEC lawsuit. We need to get at a litigation process so that XRP can actually be fully adopted in and utilized properly. Until then, the price action will most likely be suppressed and stifled. But by the time that Bitcoin does hit $500,000, we should have clear regulations around crypto. And most of the assets that we do talk about in terms of the utility-based ones, will experience a monumental move. But also just understand that this is off of such a small allocation to Bitcoin. Imagine the price action of an allocation to an asset like XRP as well. The multiplier effects would be monumental. Remember, when we look at like multiplier effects around crypto, it goes by market cap, sure, but it actually goes by the volume in as well. For an example, you even look at XRP, we have about $2.2 billion flowing in on the 24-hour span, but we're still only sitting at about $18.2 billion market cap. And I say this is because volume in, or how much money is being invested into an asset does not mean the amount of market cap potential that that asset has. Market cap is just the idea of supply multiplied by the price, accounting for market cap in general. So market cap is only the amount that somebody is willing to pay per that asset. And institutions are not like the same as retail. Institutions will scoop up massive amounts of a token, especially even Bitcoin, as we have seen in the past. We've seen, even Michael Saylor buying 100,000 plus of Bitcoin. So again, like, these are individuals that don't really care about where the price is. They see the long-term longevity of crypto. And it is for good fashion, because when we really kind of look at crypto in general, the life cycle of crypto is going to be pretty incredible if you actually look at the adoption cycle of it as well, compared to like the internet or even Web 2.0 with Web 3.0. Now, you might be wondering, well, where does XRP play into all of this? Well, we actually really have to look at the dominance factor on it. So, dominance can go a few ways. Dominance plays into the idea of, the adoption cycle for these assets as well. Like, dominance on XRP can change drastically with the price movements, but also the utility factor behind it and the utilization in general for on-demand liquidity. But I would argue the fact that if we can break back up above that 200 EMA, which is where we did kind of lead to back in November of 2020, we would be sitting at around 6% respectfully, which was the base around like 2018's bear market before, of course, like, really 2019 came in, and this is where like Bitcoin started to take off a little bit, and we did see a lot more adoption happening on XRP or on Bitcoin, which is why dominance does change. It just means more money was flowing into Bitcoin at that time, preparing for, of course, Bitcoin to be the first mover of the market. But dominance matters. I would say even like going off of the 1.65%, going off of, if we had a market cap potential of, say for so $20 trillion around crypto, meaning if, again, Bitcoin goes to $500,000 for an example, and we do have a similar movement of, Bitcoin accounting for 50% of market dominance, we would be looking at a pretty good figure on XRP at just 1.65% of the market dominance. And what would that be? It would be roughly $330 billion. Now, I know that this might not seem like a lot to individuals out there, as we have been hearing $10 plus, etc., for XRP, and that is all great, but this is just going off of the bare minimum percentages. Remember, when we look at the dominance cycle for XRP, even going back to our recent run back in April, we did hit much higher in regards to the dominance factor. In fact, it was about 4%. But to think that XRP is only going to range around roughly 66% or so is illogical. If we did settle around the 4% market dominance to 5% market dominance to even 10% market dominance, the price figure would change drastically. Say for so we do settle on where we were around August of 2019. This would be 4% market dominance. And here we have the percentage calculator over here where we could see the upside potential move on XRP. This would be about $16.55. Now, I have seen a lot of individuals call for a $500,000 Bitcoin way sooner than most actually anticipate. Do I think that XRP has the potential to go to $10 to $13 much sooner than this? 100%. It all goes by utility case and utilization in general, but to argue the fact that like XRP has $16.55 and upside of 43x is not a good decent return, is illogical. But again, this is going off of just the percentages that we do see here. I mean, even if you go to like the all-time high from 2017, 2018, or this actually wasn't even the all-time high. This is just the all-time high of XRP dominance. Here is the January all-time high where we were sitting at about 15%. Now, this is where things do change drastically around the price figure on XRP. This would be a $3 trillion market cap on XRP. You would be looking at about a $62 XRP, a 163x opportunity. Now, remember, this would be $3 trillion of a $20 trillion market. It doesn't seem too illogical when you actually put it in this perspective because remember, during the 2017-2018 bull run, XRP shocked everyone when it ran up to about $3.84 off of speculation alone. When we actually look at XRP and we look at the adoption cycle for it, we have seen some major news around it in regards to adoption, but also when we really kind of look at where this entire market is headed, I can see this happening around like the 2025 to 2030 timeframe. Now, again, it all goes by certain percentages. You know, do I think that XRP is going to grasp more than 15% of this market share value? It's possible, but also think about this. This is at a $20 trillion market cap. Imagine where we will actually be around 2030. By 2030, this market could easily be worth up to $50 trillion in market share value, meaning you wouldn't really need to have that much of a percentage of the market dominance when we are at those price figures. XRP to me will always be a blue chip stock within crypto, if you will. And, you know, even at that current moment in time, even at a 5% market share value, we would still be worth about $51.71. If we had about a 10% market share value, we would be worth about $5 trillion. And this is where things get a little bit more interesting around price action, where we do see $100 being realized. Now, I do know a lot of individuals will say, but what about $1,000 XRP? In order to get to $1,000 XRP, you would have to have about $48.3 trillion in market cap value. And I'm not saying that this is impossible. I'm just saying the time frame for this to be realized could be a lot longer than most individuals are willing to wait. And I also don't think that you should miss out on gains and miss out on preserving capital, or, you know, if you will, gains and also profits, waiting for these prices to be realized. Always, keep a moon bag on the side, if you will. But I'm not going to tell you guys to, hey, just sit around until $1,000 is targeted, because it will happen sooner than most people think. No. I don't really care for hypothetical situations where we do talk about what if XRP does grasp all the money or anything like that. Again, if it is going after the cross-border payment market of 156 trillion, if we have to grasp, well over 50% of market share value of the cross-border payment market, it is a little bit concerning because it's going to take time to get to that point. And I'm not doubting this. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying the time frame that this would take is a lot longer than most people want to wait for. Now, a more logical situation would be like about a $50 to $100 plus XRP. I know that a lot of people say 589. $589 would be about $28.5 trillion in market share value. It would be a 1,554x opportunity. $28.5 trillion is not too unlikely if they do unlock Nostro Vostro accounts with XRP within on-demand liquidity. But again, the time frame on this is it's so hard to actually put a time frame on this or even a prediction on this. I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, I do think that XRP could hit $589 by next week or by next month. I will say this, though. If we are looking at it more in a realistic fashion, and we look at like the actual dominance factor around XRP, and we look at the cyclic run of crypto in general to get to a market cap share value of $50 to $100 trillion by 2030, I would say within an 8-year time frame, it's a good point to really kind of look at XRP if we do continue to range within this 6 to possibly 10% market share value area. I would more so, put it at an average pace of within like the mean middle at this, 6% or so area. I think that is a very common area to look at. So if we do just have 6% market share value of the $50 trillion market cap, this would be the price that I could definitely see being a lot more possible by, again, like 2030. This would be about a $62 XRP. If we are talking more so about like a 10 or about a $100 trillion market share value, you're looking at about 6 trillion. Remember, this is if crypto can hit the $100 trillion market cap valuation by 2030. You're looking at roughly an upside of 327x or $124. And I don't want to say this to, put a damper on anybody's mood, because I know that around the XRP community, we have heard price figures thrown out there. I've mentioned, how we get to certain price, areas if we do grasp a large portion of the markets. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit more of a realistic time frame to look at if we can hit certain market caps within crypto. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, after you all have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.